brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
As soon as you are able, woman, I am willing to make the break that we are on the brink of. My cup is on the table, my love is feeling, waiting here for you to take and drink of. So if you're tired of the same old story, oh, turn some pages. I'll be here when you are ready to roll with the changes. Yeah, yeah.
This is In the Know for Wednesday, June 3, the 155th day of 2020. There are 211 days left in the year. Good morning, MP, guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station 109 The Moose. Live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud or iTunes podcast, on Facebook Watch, on YouTube Live, on Periscope, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. The unrest continues around the nation. Protests continue. Also, the very latest on the COVID-19 numbers. We will also flex your brain with a round of You Pick trivia. Plus, we'll just have some fun, check in on one another, see how everyone's doing. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. So, getting ready to be a mother of an 18-year-old tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So, a little bit sad.
One more day to have a minor
Yes.
child before you have an adult child officially.
Yes.
Got
A
it.
little bit scary.
No, we'll probably talk, since it's the big day tomorrow, we'll probably celebrate that on its actual day.
good.
You are a television binge watcher, are you not?
Absolutely.
Do you have a most binge-friendly or binge-worthy, I almost gave it away, series that you like to binge watch?
Friends is always going to be a binge watcher for me.
Yep.
But I'm currently doing House.
Okay, got it.
And I'm only on season 2, and I'm pretty much in love with it.
All right.
I've binge watched everything.
So we've binge watched a lot over the last 2 to 3 months. The most watched binge show in the nation is Friends.
Yep.
Also popular Gilmore Girls, Breaking
Yep.
Bad, Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that's a good one, and Star Trek, all binge-worthy
Yeah,
television
so
programs.
Only the first 2 or so are
You
for
like?
me.
Got it. Misty is on assignment today. Just left the building just moments ago. So we call in our friend, dear friend, to the show.
The name's Yukon Cornelius, the greatest prospector in Lenore. I tell you, you're looking at a mighty humble bumble.
You know him as Yukon Cornelius. The Social Security Administration knows him as Dennis C. Cook.
That's correct.
The worship and praise minister from First Baptist Church in Litchfield. Good morning.
Good morning. Great to be here.
Welcome back.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I haven't
Really,
seen you since graduation day.
that's right.
Not the day that we graduated. Graduation day for Grayson County High
Senior
School.
send-off.
Class of 2020. How are you holding up?
I'm okay.
Doing
I'm
well?
kind of upset about Friends being the most binge watched show. I'm sorry. I hate to start off this way. I really do.
What is going to happen
What
here?
do you need it to be? Superhero?
I'm not angry about it, but if it's not King of Queens, it ain't worth watching.
King of
Oh, now
Queens
I
is
do
pretty
love
good.
Okay.
King of Queens.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
I do.
The meme of the day, I'd like to know, Dennis, if you've seen this one. It made me laugh the most yesterday. The meme said, and I don't even know who posted it, so I can't give proper credit, but it said, Did we skip the murder hornets? I feel like we skipped the murder hornets.
I haven't seen that. That's good.
We went pandemic.
Yeah.
And then we briefly were disrupted by the idea of these murder hornets for about 5 minutes.
Yes.
And then we
Yes.
shifted into civil unrest. And,
They
some-
didn't get the attention they needed.
No. And
They're worthy of more attention.
don't you feel like the murder hornets are over here going, we need a new ad agency?
Yeah.
Like we had things going for us. We were stuck in the draft of the pandemic where we were going to come right along and get our moments of glory, and now we've been sung down.
Their agents didn't give them their proper due. The meme that I see floating around a lot in my circle is just standing outside, starting out the day, wondering which chapter of Revelation we're in today.
Yes, I loved that one too. Like, so which one?
Yeah.
What-
Chapter 6.
What pestilence is going to come? There it is. Did we skip the murder hornets? It feels like we skipped the
Yeah, I
murder
think so.
hornets. Indeed, we did. Hot and dry afternoon ahead for today. Warm and humid. High back in the upper 80s and lower 90s. Thunderstorm chances will increase from the north around sunset. Expects lows in the 60s. A cold front will try to move in from the north later on in the day tomorrow, triggering numerous showers and storms across the region. Highs will reach into the mid to upper 80s. So mostly sunny and 92 today officially. We will have scattered thunderstorms and a low of 70 tonight. And we will have thunderstorms, a rain chance of 60% and a high of 89 for tomorrow. As you and I talked briefly before the show, just with the unrest and the protests and just the uncertainty in trying to figure out what our world means this week. My observations over the last 24 hours is that the peaceful protesters have been largely successful in muting the anarchists and those who are trying to just inflict damage and terrorism and rioting and looting. It seems like what we've seen over the last 24 hours. Saw a big peaceful protest of 60,000 people in Houston yesterday. So, that's good. That's George Floyd's hometown. But closer to home, it seemed like there was what a difference 24 hours makes. Yesterday morning, we were talking about a shooting in West Louisville, 26th and Broadway, of a man who owned I think a barbecue restaurant. David McAtee is his name. And so we've been following along with this story. Former LMPD Chief Conrad was fired after announcing he was leaving because the officers involved in that shooting weren't wearing their body cams, but an investigation by the state police and others found video from inside that barbecue restaurant and from an adjacent property that now shows that David McAtee did have a weapon. And it appears we've got some still images of him firing a weapon in it, and also having other people there. And an investigation proved that there were 13 people that were interviewed at that location. They found 7 weapons, 6 handguns, 1 shotgun. So there's more to this story.
Wow.
Than what we were being led to believe perhaps 24 hours ago. And again, what a difference. The more information that you bring in, the more you realize, okay, this changes what we know about this case, adding to the adage that I said yesterday, there are lots of layers of paint on these issues. But now the LMPD officer, Katie Cruz, is being investigated. She was involved in that shooting, and along with 2 National Guardsmen. She is being investigated now for a social media post that she made after the protest the night before about, there's an image that the Courier-Journal took of a protester. I'm using quote fingers because I don't know if this person was really a protester or if they were an instigator, but trying to hand flowers to Officer Cruz as she was standing in line. If you're watching, you see that photo. After her shift, she went home and made a statement that says, she's being investigated, for a statement that allegedly said the protester was doing a lot more than offering flowers to me. P.S. I hope the pepper balls that she got lit up with a little later on hurt. She said, come back and get you some more, old girl, and I'll be back on the line again tonight. Doesn't settle well, right? Doesn't sound.
Not at all.
We just talked with Sheriff Chaffins yesterday about asking people asking him about the realization that we hold certain people to higher standards, including law enforcement. Dennis, we hold people in your profession to a higher standard. To some level, people in our profession are held to a higher standard, teachers, etc. So I understand the cathartic need of a law enforcement officer to go home and feel like that they're venting in a safe space to their friends, but nothing on the internet stays just among friends if they don't want it to. And so that's a dangerous comment to make, to then the next shift to go out and be involved in a shooting, whether it was justified or not. The optics of it are not great.
Right. Everything on social media will be there. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
That's right. Governor Beshear said the video, what David McAtee was involved in, and now how the guardsmen and the 2 LMPD officers is only one piece of the larger investigation into McAtee's death. We heard from J. Michael Brown yesterday, who said that they would be examining the video frame by frame and just trying to figure out exactly what happened, who did what, so that those of us who weren't there, can kind of have a better feeling for, okay, so this is what happened. But tragically, no matter the reasons that led, no matter who fired on who first, no matter the situation, no matter who was involved, the situation is tragic because it's a powder keg. It's a combustible situation, and the fuse was the George Floyd death. You can follow that line back to a week ago Monday, everything downriver of that. Tensions are heightened. They're escalated. Sure. People are on edge, especially post-pandemic, and it takes a lot less. When you try and start a fire, you need a little bit of, to
Only takes a spark.
Right. But then you also need some fuel. You need something that can ember to turn into a big blaze, and it just doesn't take much these days to do that.
I heard Tony Evans say yesterday that we are in a continued pandemic. We were in a medical pandemic. We are in a racial pandemic, and it's all because we're in a spiritual pandemic. So all this is continuous. It just has different subjects flowing throughout.
I thought it was, and I'll repeat it again because I think I said it on Monday. Give credit to Rick Burgess, who you heard it on air, said there are two kinds of people: redeemed and unredeemed. No more complicated than that.
Yeah.
The governor also went on to update, saying 155 new cases yesterday were reported to state public health officials on Tuesday, making the total 10,185, bringing the number to 442. There were 3 new fatalities, bringing it to the total to 442. Victims were from Clay, Jefferson, and Muhlenberg counties. It is interesting how 2 weeks ago it was pandemic and masks and now we've moved on. I don't quite know what to make of that. It's a complex time, and as I think we touched a little bit on yesterday, hard to be in a position like ours trying to make sense of all the variables, because depending upon the way that you look at the data set, you might get a different.
That's true. You all have done an amazing job sticking through it throughout the whole pandemic and everything, but providing information.
Just keep swimming.
Yes,
that's
all you can do. Right,
is what we're trying to do. What else in the news to tell you about? The Litchfield Freedom Festival and Twin Lakes National Fiddlers Championships have been canceled for the year 2020, but the city will still hold the annual fireworks display. That'll be on the evening of Friday, July 17th. Difficult decisions in deciding what to do. The Fiddlers Championship held on the square since 2012, since a first cousin contest had been held at Rough River for many, many years before being relocated, and now no longer is a contest. But so 8 years there on the square that this would have, I suppose, been the 8th. But already getting feedback from people who would have come from surrounding states that won't be able to make it this year. So no sense in having a contest if people aren't going to be able.
So when I heard that,
attend.
I wondered about the financial repercussions. But if they're already saying we're not going to come, I mean,
sure.
And it's difficult for a community because we're needing something. We're needing that fellowship together. We're needing that, and we can't have something like that we're so used to having that so many were involved with. It's still hard on us. So I'm thankful that the group's putting something together, at least, where we can sit with our families and enjoy something as a community during that time.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting summer. I know it feels like we're already there, but we're still a couple of weeks away from the official start of summer. But as we navigate, as we learn more about, okay, so where do we stand with the pandemic? Are the murder hornets still waiting in the wing? Have we skipped just straight ahead to political unrest and protesting? When will we be able to shoot firecrackers? Will we be able to camp? Will we be, like, whatever it is, it's just a difficult time to navigate. A Bee Spring man is facing several felony charges after being found passed out with a baby in the car in the parking lot of Ralph's Market Monday afternoon at about 5:30. The sheriff's office responded to Ralph's Market on Annetta Road, found a 35-year-old Anthony Schatt had passed out behind the wheel with the car running in reverse as an unconscious Schatt had his foot on the brake. His 14-month-old baby was in a car seat in the back of the vehicle. You can read all those details at K105.com. Extremely sad story. Hate having to repeat stories like that. Issues faced by Kentucky's public schools due to the coronavirus pandemic were discussed during the General Assembly's interim Joint Education Committee. Yesterday, one superintendent from Oldham County said the schools need flexibility for reopening when trying to balance public health concerns with what can be done realistically. He mentioned that that a lot of schools can't get their students to school in a social distancing way. If you make one child per seat or every other seat, then they would either have to make multiple trips or they would only be able to bring half the number of students to school. Then they would consider the ideas of, do we send some students on Mondays and Wednesdays and some on Tuesdays and Thursdays? There was an idea about saying there were dangers of having high school teachers in the same classroom as high school students. There were, how to ensure the health and safety of everybody in their buildings, how to maintain quality teaching and learning, how to support exceptional learners. As I have said over the last weeks, it was I know it was a difficult decision, but the pathway forward was relatively easy when the governor says, everybody go home and stay there.
Right.
So superintendent said, okay, all students and teachers go home and stay there. The real challenge is how to reverse that, how to walk that back. You can't just go 180 degrees the other direction. You have to slowly walk it back. And that is, I'll call it a house of cards, or an elaborate game of Jenga, trying to pull this and that and keep everything standing. And I'm not quite sure how they're going to do it.
I don't know that there's a right decision either way, and that's the tough situation our school board is in. But I appreciate the Grayson County Schools sending out surveys to parents to let us be able to voice our opinions or concerns or thoughts on the whole situation and not just saying it's A or B.
So I was having a conversation with someone yesterday about an event coming up in the fall for the state association. And I have been, I've been listening. I've been seeing the data and everything and what all's involved and who's saying what and all those things. And I've kind of come to this conclusion that any decision that you make other than cancellation is going to be scrutinized greatly, because everybody will think, well, you could have done it slightly different, or you could have done a little more, or you should have done this instead of doing that, and da-da-da-da. But the just complete cancellation saying, that's fine, we're going home, most people then will go, well, I guess they feel like that's what they had to do. Yeah. It's kind of like cancellation seems like the obvious choice, but anything short of that seems like, well, I don't know that you should have done that.
Yes, second guess, triple guessed, and being in leadership, everything you're always going to upset someone.
That's exactly right. Most circuit clerk's offices have reopened for driver's permit testing, but road tests won't be available for another few weeks. KSP Commissioner Rodney Brewer made that announcement to the General Assembly's Interim Joint Transportation Committee on Tuesday. He told lawmakers the entire driver's license testing program was shut down due to the coronavirus, so road tests not until July. By the way, for those wanting to get a real ID, which will be required by October 1 for boarding a domestic flight, entering a government building, the Department of Homeland Security has yet again postponed that requirement.
Oh, boy.
Kentucky has had a decade to get real ID, and we got a bonus year thanks to the pandemic. So you have until October 2021 now to get your real ID.
Phew. Good. I was nervous.
You hear things described as a boondoggle, and I think going forward, we should change the definition of a boondoggle in the dictionary to how Kentucky has handled the real ID situation. Like, C, Kentucky Real ID, because over a decade, the Real ID came as a result of 9/11 and the Department of Homeland Security saying we got to change ID compliance. You all remember what year that happened, correct?
I still don't know what I'm supposed to do.
You're okay. You
I'm
have
cool.
a
I have a
passport.
passport.
Yeah,
right?
you have a passport.
All right.
I have a passport.
You're fine.
Awesome.
What else? Oh, the Kentucky lawmaker who ran for governor last year has pleaded not guilty after he was accused of choking a woman with an Ethernet cable and trying to, quote, hog-tie her during a domestic dispute. I guess he said, I didn't go anywhere near that Ethernet cable. Wes Unseld, born in Louisville, NBA Hall of Famer, has passed at the age of 74.
Yeah.
Rex Chapman had a lot of good. He played for Wes Unseld. Had a lot of good things to say about him. So another of Louisville Suns passing.
2-time All-American.
Yeah, it's a state champion.
State champion.
Dennis, I'm going to show you something that you don't even have any idea you want for Father's Day.
Okay, let's see it.
You didn't even know that this existed.
This is awesome.
You went on a picnic with your family a couple of weeks ago
Yes.
into Indiana.
That's correct.
Right? And was it Sarah's favorite
Yes,
park
it's my
or
wife's
something?
birthday, and we went to get her food at her favorite restaurant and just found a park nearby.
Okay, so the park was sort of incidental to the process.
Yeah, we took our table, we took our chairs, we took everything.
s'mores. Did you do any
I
grilling?
can't give
or-
all the information out.
I know you all are big on cooking with the cooks.
Yes.
Here's what you need: a new campfire fishing rod that lets you roast marshmallows for the ultimate s'mores experience. So you see that? It looks like a little fishing rod, and it has hooks on the end that you can put all your various. You can put your chocolate on there. You can put your marshmallows on there.
There's like 4 hooks,
Yeah,
right?
it's available for $21.99 from Amazon, just in time for Father's Day.
4 hooks, 1 in each hand. That's 8 marshmallows at a time. About 3 kids. Okay, let me do some math.
I was told there would be no math today. We got to get
That's
to a break.
fantastic.
We'll come back. Dennis Cook is our guest co-host today. Hang around here on In the Know.
At Litchfield Pediatrics, we don't just love our community, we love yours too. Now offering telehealth appointments for visits for mental health such as ADHD or depression, and for visits that do not require a physical exam such as rashes or pink eye. If parents have questions about what is eligible for telehealth, call Litchfield Pediatrics at 270-259-5641.
Successful small business owners know that having an ally in decoding the data of your business performance is vital. A trusted source that can interpret financial reports, advise on tax code, and assess overall performance can be the difference between sleepless nights and peace of mind. The certified public accounting firm of Buckles, Travis & Hart is your ally in making sure your business is performing at an optimum level. Call or contact today to find out how Buckles, Travis & Hart can help fine-tune your business to create peak performance. 270-259-5604. GraysonCPAs.com.
We are Kentucky Broadcasters, your hometown radio and television stations. We bring you breaking news. We keep you safe. We serve your community in good times and in bad. Your local broadcasters are always there. We are deeply rooted in your small towns and your big cities. We champion a strong sense of civic pride, no matter how we connect. Over the air, online, and on your device. We are Kentucky Broadcasters. There when it matters.
Take your remodeling project to the next level and transform an ordinary space into an extraordinary one with Masonite doors and atrium windows from Future Designs. With Masonite and Atrium, you get countless design options that give you unmatched flexibility, energy-efficient glass choices, hardware, and more. So don't just remodel, transform with Masonite doors and atrium windows built around you. Start your transformation at Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield. FDBM.net.
This is Governor Andy Beshear. The coronavirus has affected every one of us differently. The good news is help is available right now. Whether it's food or health care, we're here and standing by you to get you what you need. Log on to benefine.ky.gov or call 1-855-306-8959. The process is quick, simple, and you'll soon have the assistance that you deserve. So don't wait. Go online or call today and let us help you.
Let's face it, when it comes to buying new appliances and electronics, there are so many options, it can be overwhelming. At KU, we're empowering you to save by helping you choose the most efficient models out there. That's why we've launched our online marketplace. Filled with more than 10,000 options, the marketplace not only guides you to the products that save you the most energy, but also links directly to retailers who can save you the most money. Compare, shop, and save at lge-ku.com/marketplace.
Google's rolling out some new tools to help you sleep better. The Clock app is being updated with a new bedtime tab where you can set daily sleep and wake times and see a preview of your calendar for the next day and then tally the total number of hours of sleep you'd get. This way you could adjust your bedtime if needed. Users will also receive a reminder before bedtime and have the option to play calming sounds. The new tools come to Pixel phones first, then to the rest of the Android world. Facebook is making it easier to get rid of posts you don't want anyone else to see with a new Manage Activity tool. Users can now archive multiple posts at once, and only they will be able to see them. Or posts can be moved to the trash, where they stay for 30 days before they're permanently deleted. Apple has a surprise for those who made off with iPhones from ransacked Apple stores during the recent protests. The smartphones were loaded with special security software that displayed the message, "This device has been disabled and is being tracked." Local authorities will be alerted. Tech Report, Larry Olson.
Today is National Egg Day. The incredible edible egg.
I love eggs, but that's kind of weird.
I had one today.
You did?
Yes.
Good. It's Chocolate Macaroon Day today.
I'd like to have one.
And it is Repeat Day today.
I'd like to have one.
Hey, Dennis, it's Chocolate Macaroon Day today.
I'd like to have one.
And it's National Egg Day today.
Yeah, I had an egg. It was excellent.
Leave it to sophomoric me to
One
tell
of the things that I like
repeat
to
joke.
do with young kids is Pete and repeat, sitting on a log.
Yeah.
Pete fell off. Who was left?
Hours and hours of entertainment from that joke.
Yes.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Dennis, by the way, in case you've not met Dennis, he is the worship and praise minister at Litchfield's First Baptist Church, and been keeping the congregation going during the pandemic, etc. And now churches are at a point where you go, "Hey, what are we doing about VBS? What's First Baptist doing about VBS? Do you know?"
They're doing what we've been doing and all the other churches have been doing with every other ministry, and that is reinventing it, but still doing it at the same time.
All right.
We're not being able to gather together. We could have upwards of 175 to 200 people on campus during Bible School Week and on a given summer. But this year, our VBS team, which is Joey and Amanda Mattingly and our pastor of youth and children, Joey Snyder, have reinvented it to be a digital VBS program. They had a pre-registration cutoff that was a couple weeks ago because they are preparing packets to send home to all those who have already pre-registered, and that deadline has passed. But they are creating daily videos, pre-recorded Bible time, craft time, recreation, music, everything. Pastor Doug is in it to kind of put a bow on it at the end of every day to close everything out. And the team has worked so hard on it. But even if you didn't pre-register, you can go on our website, fbclitchfield.com, June 15th through 19th at 9 a.m. every morning and watch the videos. A daily video will be posted each of the days that we would normally have Bible school.
We would encourage you to wait until 10 to watch it. It's available on demand. You don't have to watch it at 9.
This is totally awkward right now.
Conflict of interest.
Check 1, 2.
I think the innovation of this idea is wonderful. One of the reasons that I asked about it is a lot of churches, facing what to do about it. White Mills Christian Camp, just up the road at White Mills, one of the things they're doing this year is called Camp in a Box. And so you register for camp, and they send you a box of those, those things, the devotionals, a T-shirt as if you'd gone to camp, etc. And so this creative way, Kurt Scott on Sunday was talking about blessings in disguise. And I know, Dennis, from your perspective and your calling, I don't call it a profession, I'll call it a calling, that you're seeing the love of Christ, the message of Christ, the church mobilized in ways that we perhaps have not seen for decades and decades, if not centuries and centuries, because for the first time, we have information technology to deliver it in a really neat and unique way. And it's really interesting to sit back and go, this pandemic is tough, but on the other side of it, for the things that really matter, it may be for the win.
Sure. Everything that we do in the church is about relationships. First, a relationship with God, and then a relationship with others. And our main priority is face-to-face, in person, as much as we can communicate and build relationships and cultivate relationships that way. But since we cannot, the church hasn't closed its doors and stopped. We've been continuing ministry throughout, and now we're just using technology to the best of our ability. And I'm thankful for the crew at First Baptist to take it one step further, where these kids can click that link and have Bible school right there, and the parents can be observers in that, and we're not giving them instructions and things they have to do as parents. It's just there for the kids.
Right. It's great. And one of the reasons that I wanted to kind of steer the dialogue toward VBS is because of the level of importance that information is to our young people these days, because of the pandemic, because of, especially depending upon the age, it determines, the level of, I guess, detail and honesty that you can deliver in certain situations. But all of a sudden, your parents were home a lot, like all the time.
Right.
And it's unsettling to kids because they go, this is different than before.
Yeah.
And so being able to explain why and in an effective way, and then things like the protest and the rioting and the unrest and words that they hear about, it's just important to keep the information, keep the dialogue open with children to make sure that you're giving them what they need so that they can process the world that we're living in right now.
It's super important. I heard Tony Evans mention that he set his grandkids down this week to talk about what's going on. Magic Johnson had an article put out a couple of days ago where he reminds his kids all the time about the world that we're living in, and it's important that we do that as parents and talk to them about the importance of loving each other like we would want to be loved as well.
Yeah.
Well, and I know it's not exactly the same, but next week, Anna, because she is a 4-H counselor, she's going to be doing videos for 4-H campers, but it's virtual. Listen, she has planned so hard activities and all that to do live through video, and she's excited about that.
Yeah, it's an all hands on deck type of approach for us adults when it comes to the kids in the summer of 2020. I mean, we're all sort of trying to adjust and figure out what it means to us, but let's not let the next generation of leaders of our community get lost in the shuffle as far as maintaining the information that they need that will help them grow up and be well-rounded and showcase the love of Christ for all those around them. It's just our world has changed. And so I ran across a list of thanks pandemic is what I
okay.
Thanks pandemic. Cashless payments everywhere. I've really tried to start avoiding carrying currency.
True.
I've tried to not touch currency when I absolutely don't have
That's
to.
That's easy for me. My wife doesn't give me any cash.
That's
problem solved.
What do you get?
I don't
Monopoly
know my ATM
bucks?
PIN number.
More remote work. Small and medium-sized businesses often only condone remote work in emergency situations, but now, if you've proven that you can be effective and productive doing it, I think it will be encouraged. Even better on-demand services and delivery. We've had to get innovative in those ways, and I doubt we're going to go back the other direction. Less spending on needless things. Yeah, I can see that.
Amazon may beg to differ.
And improved global crisis management. Some of the things that have been improved. Dennis, I follow along. I made a reference to earlier your hit YouTube series called Cooking with the Cooks.
the 2-episode, 1-season series.
Yeah, the 2 episodes that you all did. I have not seen the haircut challenge at the Cook household yet. You said Sarah is getting some much needed self-care
today. Yes.
We won't go into any more detail than that, but your hair is relatively easy to cut, I can tell, in a fashion that mine's relatively easy to cut. Hard to go wrong.
My wife just takes a razor and just cuts it all off.
Yeah. So what about what about her?
I've offered.
Yeah.
But she had a haircut when the salons first opened again.
Oh.
She has already.
Yes.
One of we're big on challenges these days. The ice bucket challenge, the whatever challenge.
Yes.
So the haircut challenge has been going around where husbands and wives have pledged to cut each other's hair and then see how they fared. Because in a lot of the country, there's still salons are closed. So here's an example if you're watching.
Okay.
One couple, they cut each other's hair. So that's the before. And there's the after, right?
That's not bad.
They both did a very
Wow.
good job.
Yeah.
Way better than I think I could do.
Are they barbers and are they just
what's
is that their
their trade?
profession?
No, they're not. But what I took away from that was that the women have way much more to lose.
Yes.
It's hard to mess up a man's haircut,
Yes.
even if you just shave it all off and go, well, this is what I've got.
I just want to say something publicly here. My wife cuts our hair a lot, and she put a star in Trey's head, the side of his head, during the last haircut during quarantine. And if I would have done that, if I would have gone to Cavallene and got a haircut with Trey and come back with the star in the side of his head, I would have been put in timeout.
Mm-hmm.
There's your haircut challenge right there.
Yeah. File it on for size.
You've been challenged. I got it. How do you feel about? Do you have a favorite candy bar, Dennis?
I'm not sure.
All of them is okay.
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
The whatchamacallit. How do you feel about the whatchamacallit?
Top three.
It's
Top
good
three.
stuff.
Top 3.
Mm-hmm.
Whatchamacallits are great. They're without a doubt.
Yes.
But whatchamacallit has a new candy bar that they want your help in naming.
A new candy bar.
But they didn't describe it. This is it's the chocolatey crisps and peanut butter candy bar. My understanding, this is a variation of whatchamacallit, not the actual whatchamacallit itself.
Okay.
But it did lead itself to the consideration that I love the whatchamacallit, but it's a little unsettling because it seems to have an identity crisis. Because it doesn't have a name more specific than a whatchamacallit, it seems to be an unbranded candy bar, like candy bar. Whatchamacallit doesn't seem definitive enough to me. It's not Snickers. It's not 100 Grand. It's not Three Musketeers.
Where is this company's marketing department? First, a candy bar with not a real name, really, necessarily, and then a candy bar with no name. I'm sorry to get so upset about this right now, but I like to whatchamacallit so much. I'm kind of taking offense to this
I'm
whole
outraged.
campaign. First two Can Sam, now the whatchamacallit.
What about like Thingabobar, right?
I think that
Right?
Thingamabob is a solid. And if you want to play candy bar, I think what you said was Thingamabar.
I said Thingamabar. Mhm.
Thingamabar because of the candy bar. I think that's got legs to it because if you're going to go whatchamacallit,
Yeah.
first cousin would be Thingamabar. I think that's got real.
Somebody tweet that out.
We could win You tweet it out and use the hashtag because we could win the $5,000 and a candy bar for an entire year.
Give me a minute.
And for those of you that love peanut butter and can't get enough, Jif has decided to feed the beast. Jif is taking care of the problem once for all with a Jif Squeeze creamy peanut butter where you can just dollop peanut butter on the top of everything.
Oh dear.
Dennis.
Hello.
break out of your trance.
Whoa.
Do you love it? Do you love peanut butter?
We can't have it in the house, but I love peanut butter.
Gotta get to a break. Back
I
with
gotta eat it
more
by the
here
spoonful.
in the moment on In the Know.
Your choice of lifestyle directly affects your health. And while there are many complex factors surrounding your lifestyle, sometimes the simple truth is that you just need to feel better. Well, rest assured, your feel better starts right here at Midway Pharmacy. We take our time to get to know you and your lifestyle so we can provide sound advice on ways to improve your overall health. So whether your goal is to maintain a healthy lifestyle or overcome that untimely sickness, remember, at Midway Pharmacy.
This is Governor Andy Bashir. The coronavirus has affected every one of us differently. The good news is help is available right now. Whether it's food or healthcare, we're here and standing by you to get you what you need. Log on to benefine.ky.gov or call 1-855-306-8959. The process is quick, simple, and you'll soon have the assistance that you deserve. So don't wait. Go online or call today and let us help you.
Looking for fast, easy, and secure electronic banking? Community Trust has a wide variety of banking services to meet your needs, including internet banking, bill pay, and mobile banking. We now have even more great services like Apple Pay, make payments directly from your smartphone, and People Pay, a fast, easy, secure way to send and receive money from your smartphone. Visit us on the internet to learn more at ctbi.com. That's ctbi.com.
Community Trust Bank, building communities built on trust. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
When you're ready for an unforgettable golf getaway, just pick your park, then hit the course. Nestled in beautiful surroundings, 13 Kentucky state parks offer top-notch golf on nationally recognized courses. Overnight packages also add resort accommodations and amenities to the mix, creating the perfect opportunity to tee up a good time. Book your Kentucky State Parks golf getaway at parks.ky.gov.
Hey, I'm a coroner. It can be a tough job. But you know what makes it even tougher? Seeing people senselessly die because they didn't bother to use their seatbelts, or senselessly die because they got distracted by their phone. Be safe, Kentucky. Buckle up and put the phone down. Because by the time I see you, it's too late.
K105 weather is brought to you by the 3 Grayson County locations of the Sicilian Bank.
It's all about the heat yet again today, with highs into the upper 80s and low 90s. Tonight we're down into the 60s as we deal with scattered showers and storms, some of which will be strong, pushing south through our region. Tomorrow, some more scattered storms in the forecast with highs in the upper 80s. From the Wave 3 News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
Did you know the hour hand on a wristwatch travels at 0.00000 275 miles per hour?
Yes.
You okay? All right. Thank you. The hour hand on a wristwatch travels at 0.00000 275 miles per hour. I actually wear a smartwatch. But I use analog. You can see it on my camera. So I use analog to tell time. But a lot of people just do the numbers. So I'm curious, do your kids know how to tell time using an analog clock?
Yes, but it's iffy. Everything they see is digital except for my watch. My watch is a smartwatch, but I'm the same way as you.
Beach, does Anna know how to tell time from an old clock? I know we talked about it at one point in time, but I didn't know if it's something she practices.
I remember doing the project with her when she was younger. So you use the brad, like, do you know what I mean? Like when you do the craft, the brad. So we attach the hands.
In the middle?
Yes. Yep. So we did. I think she can. Okay. I hope so.
Well,
if not,
it's important to be able to know how to, even if you don't frequently. But that's how fast it moves. Lightning speed. Here's today's You Pick Trivia, a chance to prove your mental aptitude and just kind of keep the old cranium working sufficiently and smoothly. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready,
Dennis.
Let's hit it.
You Pick Trivia. How often does the moon orbit the Earth? How often does the moon orbit the Earth? Rest assured, it's multiple choice.
Oh, good.
Oh, thank you so much.
Every 7 days. B, every 27 days. C, every 30 days. Or D, every 365 days. How often does the moon orbit the Earth?
Are you kidding?
Every 7 days, every 27 days, every 30 days, or every 365 days?
Oh, boy.
You seem to be lamenting this one, Dennis.
Oh, I was just thinking about something else. Hold on. Let me look at the
question. Your mind had drifted back to the Jif peanut butter?
Yes. It was a squeeze thing,
so
right?
Good.
You just squeezed it like right into your mouth, really.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get back on. Okay, there it is. Thank you, Sam.
What was it a
That's
couple
gonna
of
be
weeks
so
ago?
good.
What was it a couple of weeks ago that you were supposed to go find?
Oh, the
'Cause
Pringles.
You live closer
Pringles,
to the store.
Pringles, and I did not do that. First it was chow mein noodles, then it was Pringles, now it's
You
whatchamacallit
bring the
Jif.
chow mein noodles.
That's true.
It was the corn on the cob, right?
Yeah,
The
corn on the cob, sweet corn, yeah.
Pringles. That's what
I'm
it
gonna
was.
get some.
How often does the moon orbit the Earth? Is it every 7 days, every 27 days, every 30 days, every 365 days? Dennis, you're a guest, so you get to go first.
C.
You say C, 30
Right answer.
days. You say C, 30 days. Miss Buckles, what do you say?
I said 27 days.
27 days is correct. 27 days.
So I was right.
Is
Good.
correct. You
there's
were
more.
you were
Oh,
close, close, but no cigar. What was Dorothy's last name in The Wizard of Oz? What was Dorothy's last name in The Wizard of Oz? Was it Doll? Was it Wolf? Was it Gale? Or was it Hamill? Was it Doll, Wolf, Gale, or Hamill? What was Dorothy's name in The Wizard of Oz?
This is about the girl in Kansas, right?
Yes, yes. Had a dog named Toto.
Oh, wrong movie.
Who had a hit song, who had a hit #1 song called Africa.
Okay, yes.
You got it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
On Fuller House, they are having a hard time figuring out how to explain the departure of Aunt Becky.
Yeah, well, Aunt Becky got in some trouble.
Hey, Aunt Becky's quarantined.
Yep, that's sort of. So here's how it's going to go. DJ says, you don't think that maybe you should run this by Aunt Becky? And Uncle Jesse says, Aunt Becky is in Nebraska helping out her mother. Oh, Nebraska
Yeah.
is prison. I got it.
Okay.
So I'm currently downloading the new episodes.
Yep.
So
Well, apparently
I'm
it's the
excited.
last 9 episodes that they
Yeah.
had to figure out what to do without her.
Wow.
So Aunt Becky is in Nebraska. I love it. So you pick trivia. What was Dorothy's last name in The Wizard of Oz? A, Doll, B, Wolf, C, Gale, or D, Hamill? Miss Buckles, what is your guess?
Total guess. C. Gale.
C, Gale. Mr. Cook?
I'm all in with Gail
You're
as well.
saying Gale. Gale is correct. They say it just a couple of times in the movie. Dorothy Gale is her name. What's the itchy skin condition tinea pedis better known as? What's the the itchy skin condition tinea pedis, P-E-D-I-S, better known as? Is it A, poison ivy? No, A, athlete's foot, B, poison ivy, C, hives, or D, diaper rash? Is tinea pedis, athlete's foot, poison ivy, hives, or diaper rash?
Duh.
Yeah.
Beach, you're going to need your prescription changed in your glasses.
Well, I can't help it. I have to lean
I was
over.
going to say you're having to look. This is really.
I'm trying to make an appointment.
I got it.
Yeah, everything's been closed.
It's hard to get in.
Listen, I saw that you made an appointment. My example is that you really had to. You having
hard
to
to
get in
do.
there. Yeah, obviously.
Well, and I am sharing my iPad with Dennis
That's
this morning.
true, and I haven't looked once. I'm sorry. I should.
Well, shame on you. I've been sharing. Thank you.
I'm so sorry.
Filming will restart in September for Mission Impossible 7. Well, great.
It's like Groundhog Day.
I love
waiting.
Groundhog Day.
I was waiting to hear like when will Mission Impossible 7 resume filming? Inquiring minds want to know.
Is he like 84 now? How old is Tom?
I'm like, seriously.
59.
Whoa.
I just heard that yesterday that he was 59. In
I
fact,
wonder like how old his stunt double is.
That's a good question. By the way, I saw his last name is weird, like Monforth or something. His name is Tom Monforth the Fourth. Like, no wonder you wanted to be called Tom Cruise.
No kidding.
What is the itchy skin condition tinea pedis, better known as? A, athlete's foot, B, poison ivy, C, hives, or D, diaper rash? Mr. Cook, I think we're back to you going first.
You know, diaper rash is really, really something we don't want to talk about much on the radio.
Okay,
but,
got it.
So I'm going to pick B, poison ivy.
You're going to say poison ivy. Miss Buckles, what do you say?
I chose A, athlete's foot,
Athlete's
only
foot.
because pedis was in there. So like petty.
Because of the foot pedicure.
Yeah.
That's right. And you are correct.
Yeah.
Says the person who once excelled at clinical definitions.
Yeah, I did do well.
So He's a bit of a ringer on that regard. It is athlete's foot, so congratulations. Got to get to a break. We'll come back and finish it up for the morning here on In the Know.
Is your marriage filled to the brim? Well, it can be, if you've got the faith to keep doing what's right. And let me illustrate what I mean with a story about Jesus' first miracle. It took place at a wedding party after the host ran out of wine. Jesus told the servants to fill 6 stone jars with water, each one holding 20 to 30 gallons. And that's a lot of wine. And what I want to draw your attention to about the story is the faith of the servants. Remember, this was first century Palestine, and there was no plumbing and there were no garden hoses. Filling stone jars that size would have required repeated trips to a well, back and forth, bucket after bucket, likely in the heat of summer. At any point, the servants could have looked at the water in the jars and decided, this isn't working. They could have given up and only filled the jars partway. Instead, they kept their word and filled them to the brim. And because they did, everyone at the wedding party witnessed a miracle unfold right before their eyes. That's the secret to a strong marriage. Keep doing what's right, even if it takes longer than you'd like to see the results. You'll get there, but not if you stop halfway or do just enough to hold your relationship together. Day after day, bucket after bucket, keep filling your relationship with love, intimacy, and connection until it's filled to the brim. To help your marriage thrive, go to FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
I'm Kevin Brooks with Future Design Building Material. These are challenging times we're facing, and with so much uncertainty, it's natural to be concerned. We know that the health and wellness of your family is most important. To work through these challenges together, we are offering new services to help. You can now call in orders and we'll deliver them curbside. We'll even deliver to your front door if that's what you need. Going forward, we'll continue to adapt to the changing conditions to continue to serve. We're all in this together. Call 270-259-9311 or go to fdbm.net and tell Future Design Building Materials how we can help you.
This is Governor Andy Bashir. The coronavirus has affected every one of us differently. The good news is help is available right now. Whether it's food or health care, we're here and standing by you to get you what you need. Log on to benefine.ky.gov or call 1-855-306-8959. The process is quick, simple, and you'll soon have the assistance that you deserve. So don't wait. Go online or call today and let us help you.
This is Kentucky Agriculture Commissioner Ryan Quarles. Before this crisis happened, 1 in 7 Kentuckians struggled with hunger, and it has only gotten worse with lost wages, missed school meals, and seniors isolated at home. That's why this station and Feeding Kentucky are uniting against hunger. You can help your local food bank by donating at feedingky.org. With your help, we can make a difference. Consider donating today at feedingky.org.
MB's point to ponder for today. What's the absolute last thing you'd hack from your household budget? So most of us have to decide, well, got to get that out of the way. Can't afford that. Can't do that. Can't do that. At the end of the day, what might be the last thing?
Aside from groceries, is that a caveat?
Well, I thought that it would be an important task to even drill down on the groceries. It would be easy to say groceries, but yeah, like would the Little Debbie be the last thing?
Absolutely not.
No?
The Squeezy Jif peanut butter would be the last thing I think you take out.
That's a hard one.
I know. Have you?
I think these last few months have taught us that toilet paper is the last thing that you take out.
That's what I'm wondering. So you went off in the food direction, but at the fork in the road, some people went hygiene direction.
Yeah.
And went, well, that would be a cascading complexity of choices.
Well, so for me, I've been using what we have in the house as far as shampoo and conditioner because I usually use a higher or a different brand.
Right.
But I've used just pretty much what we have in the house because I've not seen my hairdresser.
Sure.
So that was easy for me to do.
Some children would have just answered that question as mac and cheese. And I found an interesting tidbit about mac and cheese. Thomas Jefferson we have to thank for mac and cheese. He first ate macaroni and cheese on a trip to France. He loved the dish so much that he later served it at a state dinner in 1802, and it became an American staple.
Wow. And it really is.
Oh, yeah. Like if you have kids, for
There's
sure.
some kids that wouldn't but have a hard time
Thrive.
surviving without it. Today's highlight in history, this date in 1965, astronaut Edward White became the first American to walk in space during the flight of Gemini 4. Did you watch any of the SpaceX over the weekend, Dennis?
I did. I saw the launch. It was amazing.
It was amazing. In 1861, Illinois Senator Stephen Douglas, the Democratic presidential nominee in 1860, died in Chicago of typhoid fever. In 2016, heavyweight boxing champion Muhammad Ali died at a hospital in Arizona at age 74. Rue McClanahan passed this date 10 years ago today in New York. Viewers of Jeopardy! 1 year ago today saw James Holzhauer, a professional sports gambler and trivia whiz, end his 32-game winning streak by losing for the first time. I was extremely disappointed. I just wanted James just to win forever.
Sure.
You get 32 games in, just keep on trucking.
Keep going.
There's never, I mean, I guess you could go, okay, at my 50th, I'm going to lose, or at my 100th, but just keep going. How long can you do it? Birthdays today. Denise Williams is 70. Well, let's hear it for the girl. Anderson Cooper is 53 today. Rafael Nadal is 34 today. Gone but not forgotten. Jefferson Davis, born this date in 1808, President of the Confederate States. Jimmy Rogers, born this date in 1924. I asked about VBS at First Baptist, Dennis. Anything else big going on right now that we need to tell people about?
Right now, our focus is reaching out to our people, trying to continue as many things as we can, but emphasizing the regathering of people at worship. So Sunday mornings, our doors open at 9:30. We have a number of seats that we've spaced out with proper social distancing, providing masks, hand sanitizer, the whole bit. And we have an abbreviated service, and thankful for Pastor Doug and his leadership with all of that, getting us to a safe environment where we can come back into the building and worship together corporately.
I assume you're in the Family Life Center right
We
now.
are.
So that first week when you opened the doors and welcomed people in, what was it? Was it obvious were they moving at a slower pace, sort of looking around? Like,
Yeah,
what am I supposed to do?
They were hesitant.
Yeah.
Of course, we all kind of were first time gathered back together.
Sure.
But they were thankful for all the protocols that we had done, and they really followed the guidelines that we had. And
Our first week back, I sort of felt like I was in the Soup Nazi episode of Seinfeld. You know, arms to the side,
Yes.
go in, just like half a step this way.
Next. Next.
Yeah, and I thought I was going to be, no salvation for you.
yeah, thankfully, that's not the case.
That's right. Yeah, locked up already. But
Yeah.
it was just kind of a weird, it's just been different. over
Last
a
week
couple
was a
of
little
weeks.
better. I think it's going to be better this Sunday, too.
Headed in the right direction. Chart toppers, this date, 1953, the Percy Faith Orchestra, song from Moulin Rouge. Dennis, if you want to add some lyrics over the top of this, go right ahead.
The only lyrics I have right now are the ones to Pomp and Circumstance. That's all that's rotating in my head.
3 weeks later, you got those
Yeah,
mastered?
I got it memorized.
Good. Okay. Well, now I know how much advance notice I need to give
Sorry,
you.
I was a little late.
3.5 weeks.
For a volunteer position.
Your pay's going to get docked.
I'm
going
going
to
to get worked up again. Let's move on.
At least I now know we can compensate you with Jif.
Yes, you can.
Ray Charles, number one this date, 1962. I Can't Stop Loving You.
Classic.
It is a classic. Is it your favorite Ray Charles song? It's not mine. Georgia is my favorite.
Oh, man. How can you top that? Really?
I don't even like Georgia that much. But as
Especially
a state,
not the Bulldogs.
That's right. But there's something about the song. I covet it because I think, I wish Ray Charles had sung a song about Kentucky.
Oh, yeah.
Kentucky.
Yeah. We can make it work.
Kentucky. It works. One adds the Honeycomb, number one this date, 1971. Do kids know what the one ads are now?
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah. I'm not sure that my kids know about the newspaper.
I understand. I got it. It's
I mean, that's no offense because
Oh, I
we
understand.
subscribe,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
still.
1980. Kenny Rogers, Kim Carnes, Don't Fall in Love with a Dreamer. That's one of the things that happened during the pandemic that still bothers me, losing Kenny Rogers.
That's right.
I don't think it was pandemic related, but it still happened during that time.
A lot of celebrity passings during that time.
1989, Donny Osmond and Soldier of Love. What's that smirk for, Dennis?
What's next?
You can get into some interesting videos if you look that song up on YouTube, by the way.
And so I never can see. So
Well, it's just, I mean, it's Donny Osmond.
I didn't
in
realize
1999. Come
until
on.
the first break when I looked over there that Dennis had been staring at this.
I've not been staring.
Well,
Thank you.
It's been in your line of sight. Interesting. Torn, Natalie and Brulia, this date 1998. You just want me to move on? Or did you like that?
I'm a 70s and 80s guy. I'm sorry.
So I mean,
I'm sorry.
no, I love the
Everything else is just.
4 years ago today, from the original Trolls movie, Can't Stop the Feeling.
My kids are dancing right now to this.
Good. Finally found one that they like.
Yes. Ray Charles just didn't cut it for them.
I got it. Well, Dennis, thank you for coming in.
My pleasure. Thank you. I'm thankful to represent our church and be a part of this in the community. Thanks for all you all do.
Always a wonder to see you and a pleasure to see you. And good luck with your all's VBS in a couple of
Thanks
weeks. I'll
so
be
much.
interested to see the content. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today comes from Jefferson Davis, who was born this date in 1808. Jefferson Davis said, "Never be haughty to the humble, and never be humble to the haughty. Never be haughty to the humble, and never be humble to the haughty." MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Dennis Cook, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powered by Heritage Media of Kentucky, WKHG Litchfield, Kentucky, USA. 104.9 FM, the Twin Lakes Best Mix, K105.